So I was emailed about the Orlando Hall situation. If you are unaware, Mr. Hall, who's on the screen right now, was executed last night. It was a federal execution, and there was an internet push to have the execution stayed. And once I looked into this story, I gotta say, we really need Devin Tracy in the world because there is something broken in our culture and in our justice system where the push to get scumbags acquitted is it's counterproductive, and it really doesn't help when people scream, "Oh my goodness, Black Lives Matter" and stuff like that. Hey, help stay this gentleman's execution, when 9 times out of 10 they don't know exactly what it is he did that got him into this situation. So with that being our spirit, shout out to the FBI files. I'm using their footage from this. They have a nice little reenactment thing going on here. So let's get into this.
Turned himself in. Orlando Hall had apparently seen the news that these arrests had been made, found out, of course, that his brother had been taken into custody. He surrendered to the Pine Bluff Police Department.
So let me TLDR you right quick. There's a young lady by the name of Lisa, coming to America, who was kidnapped, and they're on the hunt. They're looking for her, and they've had one of the suspects in custody for a while, and they've picked up the other few, and that's when Mr. Hall, the last suspect, turns himself in, as you know. So just so we're all on the same page here. Sorry, I should have did that at the beginning of the video in the first minute.
With all 4 suspects now in custody, agents hoped that one of them would reveal where investigators could find Lisa Renee. The interview with Bruce Webster, the man who had been hired to do the killing, continued into the night, but he said little. Agent Floyd believed Webster had the answers they were looking for.
Basically, the only information Mr. Webster provided was his name.
Oh, my guy is a black guy on the law enforcement side. Brother, what up though? Your life matters too, because you're the one out here investigating super hard, trying to, like, in the beginning of this reenactment that they did. They're like, oh, this innocent young lady, Lisa, who did nothing, just happened to find herself into the situation. I'm like, you know what? I don't speak ill of the dead, right? So, but I'm pretty sure that there may have been a little bit more to it, but to simplify for time, okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, it's bro was out there doing his job and handling his business, so salute to him.
The fact that he hadn't done anything, and the fact that he wanted to go to sleep. To him, it was nothing. She was nothing.
Agents' hope of finding Lisa alive was fading. They needed to get one of the suspects to talk, and they needed to do it fast.
They really went all out with this reenactment, didn't they?
6 days after a young woman was abducted from her Arlington, Texas apartment, investigators pressed her suspected kidnappers for information.
We got here. Little party took, huh?
Until now, alleged hitman.
That looks like the most trash bud I've seen in my lifetime. That was all oregano.
Bruce Webster had stonewalled investigators. But Special Agent Garrett Floyd's persistence eventually paid off. Webster finally admitted that Lisa was dead.
It felt like a tremendous sledgehammer falling on you. We had tracked this young lady from Arlington, Texas to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, over 200 miles, with the one hope of finding her alive. And we did not. It was as if all of the wind and all of the energy had gone out of us.
So don't and that's one of the reasons I hate this whole notion that people aren't cared for, and this country just is so awful because like you do have professionals out there who get it's the big catch 22 of being an investigator in or a detective at more of a local level that you get involved and you care about the cases that you're working on and the fact that these cases can all go so many different ways is it can be taxing on just regular on anyone.
Webster picked up the story where his accomplice Stephen Beckley left off. When they returned to the park with Lisa, they located the grave they had dug the day before. Detective John Stanton's fears had been realized.
The reality of it set in at that point that we were not going to find her alive. We were not going to be able to save her. We were going to be too late. Stand by the car. Watch.
Webster said that only two of his accomplices, Orlando Hall and Stephen Beckley, took Lisa back to the park. The fourth kidnapper, Demetrius Hall, had stayed behind to clean the motel room and wipe away fingerprints.
Next morning,
The suspected hitman claimed he wasn't actually with the others when they killed the girl.
car. Make sure nobody comes out.
Webster said he returned to the car to...
And how many times have we gone over this like in this channel? Like particularly those of you who've been rocking with me for a while, everybody always minimizes their role in everything. Yeah, and man, like, look, man, remember that one guy. Oh, I just held her legs. I didn't do anything. Like that, folks will always minimize like their role. But hey, it is what it is. They got
Just the lookout. From the car, the grave was too far away to have seen the murder. Now that Webster was safely in custody, the agents decided to see if Beckley would corroborate his story. Agent Floyd felt that Beckley knew far more than he had said.
And he looked at me. He said, "You know I didn't tell you everything. You know I've lied." And I said, "Yes, I know you did not tell me everything. You didn't lie, but you didn't tell."
Hey, shout out to the New York Undercover Lethal Weapon type. I wish Devin was still on the platform because I would have just searched for his coverage. I bet money that he covered this already, and honestly, this is awesome. Like, yeah, saying black and white brothers handling business together, getting down to the truth, getting down to the nitty gritty. This is masculinity, gentlemen. I mean, we different, but we're all the same, bros.
Me everything. And he said, "You're right." So then Stephen Beckley started crying. And Stephen Beckley told me she was dead. That she was buried in these woods. And that we needed to go get her.
Sad. I mean, really, really sad. At the same time, if that was you, like your reenactor, just like they couldn't have gotten anybody that looked a little bit more like you. I'm just asking.
And I said, "We will go get her. Let's get your story on paper, and we will go and find her."
Crazy, man. He's a hitman.
Beckley said that despite Bruce Webster's story, the hitman had indeed been involved in the killing.
Yep, told you. What'd I say?
He told us a story that the grave was 6 foot deep. And that when she went to the grave, when she, Bruce Webster, Orlando Hall, and he, Stephen Beckley, arrived at the grave, that she saw the grave, and that she started to run in the effort to get away. And that they struck at her with a shovel and placed a mark in this tree. That he, Beckley, became concerned and was afraid and ran back up to the street to check to see if the way was clear, as he was instructed to by Bruce Webster. By the time he came back, they were burying her.
What
you asked for?
Beckley told investigators that the men then met Demetrius back at the motel, showered, and left.
And thusly, Orlando Hall earned his fate. I mean, this is just always when anybody, I don't care who it is, comes up to you talking about, oh yeah, this brother, like, and the thing that really kills me is that they were pushing this, an all-white jury. They should. Like, I hope it. I wouldn't give a shit if it was an all turquoise jury that found this man guilty and sent him along his way. Yeah, he kind of fucking earned it. Jesus, like. That's the thing about the feminine, right? We talk about it on the channel all the time. Ladies don't really have the idea of a pause, or that shouldn't be so much. And now, as we see with Kim Kardashian and the Centoya Browns and the Crystal Kaisers and the like, it's just, this lack of consequences and this promotion of the lack of consequences for one actions is it needs to be cut out of the culture ASAP. But you may disagree. So that's what I have a comment section for, all the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. You want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications. Get something from the Teespring and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? And check me out on Patreon as well. Links in the description. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sorry, but yeah, yeah, you were one of the four involved in and by all means, like, innocent no matter what, because no one deserves this. No one deserves such a fate. It's so disgusting that people would sit there and, really feel bad or try to be, oh my goodness, yes, the all-white jury, that doesn't negate anything. Honestly, I would hope an all-white jury would come back with such a conclusion. I'd hope an all-black jury would come back with such a conclusion, because Lisa Renee did not deserve what she got. But Mr. Hall, damn sure earned his. But you may disagree. That's what my comment section's for. Until the next one.